is going on, everybody? It's your boy Eddie Styles, and we are back at it with another episode of the Let's Talk Fitness podcast. Thank you all for tapping in, tuning in once again with your boy. Today's episode, we are going to do a Q&A. We're only going to answer 6 questions that I have pulled up on the screen. 6 really good questions that I am going to be able to yap on, really talk over, and we're going to have some great discussion. We're going to talk a lot. So with that being said, we are going to get in this episode. If you're joining in from the podcast, the Apple, Spotify, make sure to also tap in and tune in to the YouTube as well, where you can actually watch the footage and see my face and get to listen to me yap for the next 30, 45, 50 minutes. We're going to see. All right, we are just going to go through these questions. No timer, no script. We are just going to talk a good bit. Hopefully you guys are doing good. Hopefully you guys are having a great day. It is Wednesday right now, and I'm having a phenomenal day. Thank you for asking. Again, hopefully you guys are having a great day. Let's actually get into this. First question, what's the difference between following a free workout program or universal plan versus having a one-on-one coach? Now, the biggest difference when it comes to having a free workout program, a set template, guide, or whatever you're following for a training program that is not made for you is always going to have some issues. And what I mean by that is when you buy a training program or when you're looking at your favorite fitness influencer's bio, these universal programs, they're not 100% tailored towards you. You're not going to have a plan that's made for your goals specifically for where you're at in your fitness journey based off of whatever exercise limitations you may or may not have. They're very generic. All right. With that being said, that doesn't mean they cannot get the job done. The only difference, and I would say the biggest downside to having a universal program, is they are very generic. Yes, you can follow them for the time period and get amazing results, but you also have to consider the fact that you have to hold yourself accountable. You have to track your own progress, progressively overload, make sure your form and execution is on point, all while doing this all on your own and making sure you're actually seeing the results. And if you're not seeing the results, then something is not clicking. This is where having a coach, having somebody there with you, whether it's someone online or whether it's somebody actually there in person, this is where you're going to make so much more progress, because not only are you going to get a plan that's customized and tailored to you specifically and your goals, it's going to actually fit your lifestyle. It's going to actually fit your structure and your routine. Sometimes these generic workout programs can take an hour and a half, 2 hours. Now, if you're a busy mom, busy parent, whatever the case is, or you just don't have that much time to spend in the gym, that may not be feasible for you. And that's perfectly fine. So with that being said, again, this is where a coach and having that detailed and tailored program specifically for you, this is where it's really, really going to make a difference, right? Now, another big thing is you have to hold your own self accountable when you have a generic plan and or following a regular workout program or whatever the case is. You have to hold yourself accountable. When you have a coach, when you have a trainer, they are going to help guide you. They are going to help you manage these obstacles, get over these challenges, and really figure out how to still get to your goals. Whether we're taking small steps forward or we're taking major leaps and bounds, having somebody there to help you manage and overcome these obstacles is so important. And I think having a coach is always 10 times out of 10 going to be super beneficial rather than having a generic workout program. Next question. I want to get fit, but my nutrition is a mess and I haven't stepped in a gym in years. Where do I even start? I absolutely love this question. This is such a good question because I feel it's very relatable. A lot of people are so overwhelmed when it comes to starting their fitness journey, getting to the gym, starting to work on a full body transformation. And I get it. Listen, there is a lot that goes into this. All right. When it comes to working out, changing your health, improving your health and fitness, You have to work on your nutrition. You have to make sure you're in a calorie deficit. You have to make sure you're getting your protein and getting your water intake in, making sure you're managing your stress, making sure you're training consistently, progressively overloading. There are so many factors that are involved with getting in shape when it comes to having a full body transformation. Now, with this whole process, I strongly believe that you can start exactly where you're at and still build up and make phenomenal gains. Wherever you're at, wherever your fitness levels, you can make improvements, small implementations that can allow you to take these small steps forward, which is going to help you get to that long-term goal for you. So with that being said, if you are someone who does really want to get fit, but your nutrition may not be the best and you may not have stepped in the gym for years, start slow, take it day by day, and focus on one variable at a time. A lot of new clients, when they come to me, they expect that I'm going to give them a full workout program, a full cardio regimen, step regimen, supplementation off the rip. Now, depending on the athlete, if they are a competitor, 9 times out of 10, I am going to start them off rip with a full detailed plan. But if it is a lifestyle person to where they need something a little bit more beginner friendly or introductory to the whole fitness process, I'm going to make this a lot more simple and I'm going to make it a lot more feasible for them to stay consistent. All right. So again, with that being said, start from where you're at, focus on one variable at a time. And this can be if you're lacking your hydration, start drinking some more water. Start tracking how much water you're actually drinking because you may be thinking you're getting a certain amount, but realistically, you're probably only drinking 1 bottle of water a day. Start tracking how much water you're intaking in a daily basis and slowly work to increase this. Don't got to get a gallon. Don't have to get 2 gallons. Just get more than what you've been getting in. When it comes to nutrition, you do not have to start tracking your food. You do not have to start weighing everything out the first week. What I want you to do is just be mindful of what you're putting into your body. Just be mindful. If you can make a mental note and or I prefer you take actual notes somewhere in your notes or even on a pen and paper little journal, that way you can actually see what you're putting into your body and you can call your own self out and point out that, listen, I probably shouldn't have had Chick-fil-A 3 times this week. It's probably counterintuitive towards my goals if we're being honest with each other. And again, these two little things just right there alone, I'm not telling you to completely change up your lifestyle and completely go into a bodybuilding prep mindset to where you're locked in 1010%. You're weighing every single ounce of or grain of rice and you're being so meticulous. No. Lifestyle, right? If you're a lifestyle person, there is a specific approach that will fit you better. So we talked about your nutrition. We talked about your water intake. Something else you can do, which is super easy, and this will be the last and third tip I'll give. This is going to be start moving more and start exercising. Whatever you're doing right now, just do a little bit more and be consistent. If you're not going to the gym at all, it's going to be super easy. What I want you to do, you're going to set 2 non-negotiable days for yourself going into next week. What I mean by this, your non-negotiable days is your workouts and or your events that are non-negotiable, you are going to get done. No matter what happens, no matter what time it is, no matter what the day throws at you, these non-negotiables are going to get done. When you constantly hit these non-negotiables, it will get easier for you to get consistent. It will get easier for you to be consistent with this. And the more consistent you are with this, the more momentum you're going to build and the more results you're going to get. It actually is a process in which the more uncomfortable you are, the better you're going to get at this. So those are the 3 tips that I know for a fact, if you implement today, you will start to make way more progress in your health and fitness journey. You'll start to look better. You'll start to feel better. You'll get stronger. You'll drop some body fat and you'll build some damn muscle. Next question. How do you handle check-ins when a client had a quote unquote bad week and feels guilty about it? Now, when it comes to this whole fitness journey, you are going to have some bad weeks. I'm going to tell you now. There are going to be some weeks to where you feel like shit or some days where you do not want to go into the gym. You don't want to meal prep. You don't want to do the damn thing. You're going to have some times, and if you've been working out for at least a year, you definitely know what I'm talking about. So when it comes to having a bad week, I like to reassure my clients, first and foremost, it is not the end of the world. It is not the end of the world. Then what I do is I'll help them reframe their mindset to where, all right, you probably didn't have the best week, but you didn't have a bad week. And how you go about talking and what you put out and how you communicate, how you talk to yourself, I think is so crucial. And going back to that first question, what's the difference between having a universal program and a coach? This is another aspect in which you are getting so much benefit from. When it comes to the accountability, I can help you walk off the ledge, take a step back, and analyze the week in a sense to where, all right, just because you weren't perfect and you didn't hit 100% doesn't mean you were off your shit completely. Let's say, all right, 5 out of the 7 days, you were perfect with your nutrition. You got all your workouts in. You missed one cardio session because something came up. Whatever the case is, that to me is still a good week. If you are not a competitive bodybuilder in a prep, if you are a lifestyle athlete, lifestyle client, that is a good week. And I think reframing your mindset is super important to this whole process because, again, how you talk to yourself, what you put out there, it makes a big difference in this whole process. And when it comes to having a bad week, it also gives us a lot of data. When things came up, how did you manage these obstacles? How did you overcome these challenges? When it comes to my check-ins, I have all these questions there to where I'm getting all this information from my clients. From that point, I'm getting the information on what challenges they've had, how they overcame it or tried to overcome it, and then I'm giving them advice and feedback on how to improve and get better. This is where we're constantly leveling up. And again, we're not taking these major leaps and bounds in progression every single week because that's not realistic. That is not likely, and that's not how this process works. It is a marathon, not a sprint, people. So from there, again, I just like to reframe it differently. You didn't have a bad week. Unless you completely shit the bed, you don't follow your meal plan, you don't go train. If that was you, that was the case, and you weren't sick, something didn't pop up, something didn't limit you from doing what you needed, then that's a bad week. Then it's like, all right, we need to get our shit together. We need to lock it in and we need to do what we need to do. Remember your why. Exactly what are you working towards and why are you working towards it? Why is this important to you? Let's bring that back into the picture. Let's get you thinking again and let's really get this fire a lot more lit. And from there, motivate them, fire them up, hype them up, and tell them you're going to have a great week. Not, oh, I want you to have a great week. You are going to have a great week. No ifs, no ands, no buts. You're going to have a productive week. You're going to get your things done. You're going to train hard. You're going to get your cardio in. And I tell them this. I don't say I want you to. I tell them you're going to do this. That way, they get fired up because I'm fired up. They want to hit their plan because it's going to make me happy. When I'm happy, they're happy because they're making progress and we're all happy. You know, this is how it works. This is exactly how it works. All right. Next question. What does a typical first month of working with you actually look like? Now, when it comes to the online coaching process, the first month is really where we're setting the stage. We are getting to know each other. I'm getting to know you as a client. You are getting to know me as a coach. You're getting familiarized with the coaching program, the coaching style, the app, and we are getting to know the process. I do not rush this. And again, wherever the client is, I'm meeting them where they are at and I'm building them up from there. So not all of this is set in stone. Some clients need 3 or 4 weeks to where we are getting familiarized with the program, with the app, with the whole process as they may be complete beginners. But some clients who have worked with coaches in the past and have had, let's say, 2-3 years of experience under their belt, they are able to come into the program and really pick up a little bit faster or a lot faster actually than a lot of the beginners, which is perfectly fine. Everybody starts somewhere and everybody has their own journey that they're on. So that's not to discredit anyone is what I'm trying to say. So that first month is, again, us getting familiarized with each other. Week 1 is onboarding. I'm getting you set up with your app, I'm getting set up with your nutrition, I'm getting set up with everything you need to be successful. In my app, I have a full section for your workouts, for your training program, for your supplements, for your nutrition. Everything you need is literally listed in the app for you. It's like you have me in your damn pocket. It makes it so simple and so easy to stay consistent. All right. Your training program is there, your sets, your reps, your rest times, all the stuff is listed. I have exercise breakdown videos on almost every single exercise, how to perform them properly, how to execute. And I also have a logbook to where you can track and progressively overload your lifts without using a pen and paper. That's with the app. And with the nutrition, we're getting dialed in with nutrition, whether we're doing a meal plan, a macro approach, or I'm giving you meal guidelines. We are getting set with the nutrition. We are setting the nutrition and setting the foundation for success. We're most likely not having any changes in the first 1 to 2 weeks because I really want to see how your body responds to the initial, and then we make changes and manipulations from there. But those first 1 to 3 weeks, nothing is really changing. Maybe some small stuff is fine tuning, but nothing really is making any major changes. Once week 4, week 5 comes around, by this point, you already know how the app works. You already know how my style is, what I am like as a coach, and this is where we really start to ramp up. I tell all my clients, give me until week 5, then you're locked in for life, and I'm so confident in that. Give me until week 5, 5 weeks of working with each other and giving me 100% of consistency and effort, and I guarantee from that point on, you are going to want to work with me for the rest of your life. The quality of service is going to be super exceptional. You are going to learn so much. I'm going to teach you and educate you. I'm going to guide you. I'm going to keep you accountable, and I'm going to help you get the results and change your body and be exactly where you want to be. That's my job. That's what I do as a coach, and I'm so confident in that. So if you are interested in working with your boy, I am always accepting online coaching clients. Feel free to apply, link in the bio. All right. Pretty much the first 4 weeks are us just getting to know each other, you getting to know the program. No major changes are being made, but the foundation is being set. We are having weekly check-ins. I am still keeping you accountable. I'm teaching you. I'm literally going over every single change, every single thing that I have set for you. That way you're confident in the decisions that I'm making as your coach. Next question. What do you do with a client who is doing everything right, but the scale isn't moving? This is another great question because it's another common thing in which I see my clients go through. All right, I have worked with a lot of clients who have been doing their fitness journey, following a nutrition plan, hitting their cardio, doing their steps, literally everything. And I've seen the scale stay the same, if not fluctuate like half a pound for weeks, if not months. And it's crazy because, again, I'm always going to trust that the client is doing their plan 100%, especially when they're telling me that they are. However, if the weight is not moving, I'm not too concerned, all right, because there are so many other non-scale variables that you can account for, you can look at, and you can track. All right, what I mean by that is, let's say you're working with me, right? And we're 3-4 weeks in, nothing's changing on the scale. Your scale's not moving, but your clothes are fitting better. You're starting to notice that waistband is getting a little, right? Your hoodies, they're fitting better. Your scrubs, they are fitting better. They're getting looser. You are dropping weight. The scale might not be moving, but you are losing body fat. Another area and metric that you can track is your gym performance. Are you getting stronger? Are you having more energy? Is your endurance and your cardiovascular health, is that improving? Do you feel like you're getting more physically fit? Can you move better? Are you having better mobility? Do you have more range of motion? Can you squat down to the floor, pick something up off the ground without your knees and back aching in pain? If so, you are making progress. The scale might not be moving. That's perfectly fine. But again, if all these other areas are improving, you're getting better, you are doing something right. Another area is going to be your measurements. This is going to be the tried and true to make sure you are seeing the results that you want to see. You want to make sure you're slim in your waist? The measurements will tell you. You want to make sure you're growing your glutes? The measurements will tell you. With that being said, take your measurements from the start. I like to do every 6 to 8 weeks. I think that is going to be the sweet spot for most people. Now, with that being said, and I was pretty hesitant with that, do not look for the measurements to change drastically. They might be a little bit slower than you expect. However, if they are moving in the direction that you're looking for, you're making great progress. One more area I think you can track and progress is your confidence and your comfortability in the gym. And this is something that not a lot of people talk about. All right. When it comes to your confidence in the gym, are you confident that you can do every single piece of equipment in the gym? Do you know how to set them up? Do you know how to break them down? Do you know exactly how to position yourself to do the machine safely, effectively, and efficiently? Probably, maybe. I think this is an area that I focus on with my clients personally. Is if you're a one-on-one client, first off, we're going to do every damn machine in our gym, and I'm going to make sure you know how to confidently set up every machine. That way you can come into the gym by yourself and work out as efficient and as effective as possible. This is where we're going to get a lot of progress. All right. When you're doing the damn thing by yourself, because I'm helping you, I'm teaching you, and I'm guiding you. So with that being said, if you're a one-on-one client with me, I'm going to make sure we learn everything. You know exactly how to set it up, how to use it. That way you're confident. You have that gym knowledge. All right. How comfortable are you in the gym? Are you only staying to certain exercises because you're scared, or you're maybe limited on exactly what you want to do because you don't want to go to certain areas? This is something to where, again, having a coach is going to push you outside of your comfort zone. You can learn so much to where it's like, oh, you know what? I know I can press, let's say 400 pounds on that leg press. So a free weight bar on my back, that's 45 pounds. And you're telling me to squat, you know what? That's going to be a cakewalk because I know for a fact my legs are strong enough to move those 400 pounds. So again, the confidence and the comfortability in being in the gym, I think is another area that not anybody talks about in the fitness industry. So if you're feeling more confident, if you're feeling more comfortable being in the gym, I think that is a major win and you cannot get that taken away from you. Last question of the night. How do I know if I'm actually ready for a coach or if I should just keep trying on my own? Banger of a question. Banger. So how do I know if I'm ready for a coach or if I should keep trying on my own? I think 9 times out of 10, everyone can benefit from a coach. You look at the top athletes of the world, NFL, baseball, basketball, they all have coaches. You look at the top bodybuilders, they all have coaches. There is always room to grow. There is always progress to be had, and you can always improve, whether it's from a health aspect, from a knowledge aspect, or a mental aspect. You can constantly level up and improve. My advice is if you want to speed up the process, if you really want to save a lot of the time on the initial hurdles and challenges and obstacles that you are going to run into during your fitness journey, I strongly recommend hiring a fitness coach because, again, with a coach in your corner, you're going to be able to navigate a lot of things that are going to come up that are going to give you issues. All right, I'm working 12 hours. How am I going to get my steps in? How am I going to get my nutrition, my workouts? What am I doing? Having a coach is going to help you, and we are going to help figure out something that works for you. Again, if the plan is not tailored to you, going right back to that first question, 9 times out of 10, you are not going to be consistent because it is not going to allow you to, and you're going to hit the ground and not make no progress. It's unfortunate, but again, having a coach, you're able to troubleshoot any things that may come up. You're able to make any changes, make any improvements, and give attention to areas that need the attention. What are you struggling with? Where can we get better? How can we get better? These are the benefits of having a coach. Force progressions, and we force you to level up. You are essentially paying for results as long as you're putting in the effort and you're being consistent. So yes, do you need a fitness coach? No, you do not need one. However, if you want to make a lot of progress, have this process be a lot more easier, and have the accountability factor taken care of, You are paying for a service. You are going to learn a lot, and you are going to get the accountability and guidance you need to make great progress. And that's going to wrap it up for tonight's episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed and took away a lot of helpful tips and things that can help you in your own fitness journey. If you guys have any questions in particular you would like me to come on the podcast and talk about, feel free to shoot me over DM at Stylez_fitness. Make sure to tap in and tune into the YouTube as well. Make sure to subscribe over there. Leave a 5-star rating and a review on Apple or Spotify if you're listening. I greatly appreciate it. It will help the podcast grow and it makes me super happy. And if you are looking for a fitness coach and somebody to help you with your fitness journey, feel free to apply in the link in my bio, and or you can always shoot me a DM on Instagram as well. And with that being said, I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.